Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video on Blind Woman Reviews. I am reviewing Network Effect. This is the fifth book in the Murderbot Diaries series. Oh, I'm so excited. I love this. I am especially excited because this is a full-length novel. This is the first full-length novel in the Murderbot Diaries series. The first four were all novellas, usually between 144 and 158 pages. Most of them were about, most of them were about 158, but if I remember correctly, exit strategy was about 176 pages, so it's between 144 and 176, and they were novellas, but this is a full-length novel and it is full of things. So let's begin. Murderbot returns, and its highly anticipated first full-length standalone novel. You know that feeling when you're at work and you've had enough of people and then the boss walks in with yet another job that needs to be done right this second or the world will end, but all you want to do is go home and binge your favorite shows? And you're a sentient murder machine programmed for destruction? Congratulations, you're Murderbot. Come for the pew pew space battles. Stay for the most relatable AI you've read this century. I'm usually alone in my head, and that's where 90+% of my problems are. When Murderbot's human associates, not friends, never friends, are captured and another not friend from its past requires urgent assistance, Murderbot must choose between inertia and drastic action. Drastic action it is then. This description is amazing. I love it because, first of all, Murderbot is literally the most relatable AI I have personally ever read. She reminds me of me when I don't want to do anything. Like, she reminds me of me when I'm like, oh, but do I have to do this? I mean, is it really necessary? Like, that is what she reminds me of. She reminds me of me right there. There's something about that. There's something about reading a character that just happens to be reminiscent of you. And I don't know. There's something about that, I think. And it just works. It just works so well. So yeah. Anyway, I basically just I love it. Okay, so we in this book, we have a lot more setup than we did in the novellas, which is what makes full-length novels more interesting, that you can actually set up more, you can develop more, and that's what makes full-length novels a lot more intriguing to me than novellas. I still like novellas and I will read them because I do like short books as well. I enjoy the ease of reading short books. I think it's kind of it's great. It's kind of it's easy to read them. It's easy to get through them. It's easy. But full-length novels have the advantage in the fact that they can set things up. They can develop them more. They can fully take advantage of the fact that they have a bigger word count and definitely a bigger page margin, because they can do a lot with what they have. And because of that, they have a bigger advantage in that case. And And I like that. And because we got to set more stuff up, especially after the events of Exit Strategy. By the way, I'm going into a couple of spoilers now. They're gonna be kind of broad right now, so I am going to a couple of them right now. Anyway, Exit Strategy, where Dr. Mensa was kidnapped by Grey Chris Corporation, who wanted the lawsuit to be dropped, and they kidnapped her, and they had this whole thing. And Murderbot kind of just went um to to um to try to to rescue the only human companion who has, or the only human in general who has actually respected her and given her freedom. And I enjoyed Exit Strategy for that reason. And now Murderbot is living in preservation. And basically she now is Mensa's security, and keeps track of her and also her family and anyone, and she kind of keeps an eye on anyone who might pose some harm, and they're keeping an eye on Grey Chris. And one of the things that she has done is she's gotten rid of people. By gotten rid of, I mean killing them. Of people who basically have caused or will be a threat to them. And one of the things that I liked about this book is that she works on her relationship with Mensa's daughter Amena. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Amena, I guess. And they basically they have a bit of a up and down relationship, because Amena's a teenager and she wants to do certain things, but sometimes Murderbot kind of just gets involved in it. For example, she was going to the house of this guy, and Murderbot just showed up and kind of interrupted her and stuff like that, but she ends up getting involved. But Mensa trusts Murderbot, and what happens is that when Amena has to take she has to go to this thing so she can observe and stuff like that, Mensa tells Thiago, who's basically Amena's uncle, that if because he didn't want Murderbot to go, but she told him that if Murderbot does not go, she will take away Amena's permission. So Thiago's forced to deal with Murderbot. And then of course the friend from the past, the not friend, is Art, which she calls asshole research transport. And she finds out that he technically kidnapped them, but technically that there was a lot more to that. There's so much. And they now have to rescue Art's crew, as well as other people. But basically it has to it works in a way that's like we kind of figure out what's happening. There's a bit of a mystery aspect to this book as to what is happening as to how they got kidnapped, and then that leads to another mystery, and that leads to another mystery. There's a lot of mystery, not to mention and then her and Art kind of have to deal with their friendship, and it's lovely to see them kind of rekindle their friendship, not to mention kind of discover that they are friends and that they care about each other. It's interesting. I never read friendships between AI, but I will say I do like them. I think it has a substance. It has an interesting thing, because it's something that we have yet to. It's something we personally, at least I haven't read. I personally have not read, and I like the simple fact that it is something that is now being explored by this in this book. And I think it was well explored, as well as just it was interesting to read about their friendship. And also the way that there's a lot more that Art does than what he originally told her, and just a lot in general. I think this was a great book, a great addition to the Murderbot Diary series, not to mention a great addition to Art and Murderbot's friendship. So I loved it. I love AI Friendship. 5 out of 5 stars. It is a 350-page novel according to Goodreads. So, I mean, to me, it took me a while because I mainly read it before bed. But if you were to be reading a lot, like nonstop, I'm pretty sure you can read it in a couple of days. So, definitely, when you read it, I think you know what to expect, right? So, do what you can when you read it. It's I think it's a good book. I think it definitely has a bunch of I think it definitely has, how do I put it? It has a lot going on. It has a lot of character development. It has a lot of things. For example, like there's discussion on trauma, not fully portrayed because we only go through Murderbot's point of view, but there is some discussion on trauma and things like that. So, and there is discussion of like that, most of preservation doesn't know anything about Corporation Rim and how things happen, but and so Mensa doesn't tell them a lot about their work all the time because she doesn't know. None of preservation kind of knows how it actually works, and they are completely like blind to it. So anything that Mensa's feeling is kind of like, even if she wished to discuss it with people, she usually doesn't because they don't really know anything about Corporation Rim. So it's interesting because most of preservation is ignorant about Corporation Rim. I mean, they do hate. They even it's a good way to tell. It's a good way. It's technically in the book. It's written to show their ignorance. You kind of show it through Amena, who is constantly shocked about the way the corporations work now, and she doesn't understand why. She's asking why, and it's like, and Murderbot's just like, because it's how it works. You know what I mean? She doesn't understand. Like, Amina does not understand how it's coming up to be, and I think that just says a lot about how ignorant preservation really is about Corporation Rim and what Mensa and other people have to do outside of preservation. And I think that was an interesting way to show it. Anyway, overall, great book. 5 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Check out the description for links. And until next time, happy reading.